Houston for tonight's matchup between the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets, and the battle of the big men. Shaquille O'Neal, the leading scorer in the NBA, and Hakeem Olajuwon, number 2 to Shaquille in scoring in the league. The battle of the big men, the second half of tonight's TBS doubleheader.
Back, but keep your eye on low post and watch Penny Hardaway work.
We'll do that, and then it's going to be a great game coming up. Stay with us. We'll be.
Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weren, along with Jack Gibbons, welcoming you to the summit in Houston, where this big man contest between Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal is underway. The Rockets on top right now, 9-8, with 7:31 remaining in this first quarter.
Pete, both big men have touched the ball virtually every time down, and how either team plays out of the double team will be a real factor in this ball game, the outside shooting.
Horace Grant trying to get the ball to Hardaway, stolen by Clyde Drexler. Kenny Smith trying to beat the Magic down court, does, but falls short with a shot. The rebound, Horace Grant off to Dennis Scott. Scott trying to beat Drexler. Now Shaquille over Hakeem. Around and in. It falls for Shaquille O'Neal. He has hit for 6 points, 3 of 4 from the field in this first quarter. His counterpart Hakeem on the other side only has 1 basket so far. Trying for number 2 there. That little shake move. No, the tip goes good. Chucky Brown with his 4th point.
Rebounding in this ball game because of the smaller lineup with the Rockets will be important for the Magic to control the inside floor.
That's the 3rd turnover in this first quarter that Shaquille O'Neal has been directly involved with. Quickly down court, the Rockets. Kenny Smith is going to take an uncontested 3 and come up short. Rebound pulled away by Olajuwon, but he throws it away. Anthony Hardaway gets it over to Nick Anderson. He got into the paint and got fouled. We've got a timeout, 6:22 to go in the opening quarter. So far, this one living up to its expectations. Welcome back to Houston, where the Rockets have a 1-point lead over the Orlando Magic with 6:22 remaining in the first quarter. Here are tonight's starting lineups that are still in there, brought to you by Microsoft. And, of course, the matchup to watch all night, arguably the 2 best big men in the league, Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon in the middle. Brian Hill, the head coach of the Orlando Magic, has his team off to a 43-13 record, the best record in the NBA right now, while the defending NBA champion Houston Rockets, under the leadership of Rudy Tomjanovich, struggling a little bit this year with injuries, Jack. They're 35-20. They're in the number 5 slot right now in the West.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the starting lineup, you see some names for the Rockets that are normally not there. Robert Horry will go on the injured list. Actually went on the injured list today. He will not be available to the Rockets for a while. He's out probably for a month. Carl Herrera is another guy that the Rockets hope to use on the front line after that trade that sent Thorpe to the Portland Trail Blazers for Clyde Drexler, but he also is on the injured list because of a hamstring pull. So both of these guys at 6'10", their big bodies will be needed.
Horace Grant over Ellie, and he is on the board. His first field goal. He has 3 points on the night.
Well, he's gotten so much better at making that shot, and the big man for the Rockets will go down the double team. That'll leave Grant open for that shot at the top of the key.
Kenny Smith looking inside at Drexler. Drexler had it tipped away. Anthony Hardaway to Anderson, a 3-on-1. Dennis Scott finishes it for Orlando. Well, he has 5 points.
Yeah, Dennis Scott is a guy that has worked hard to get back in condition. He, of course, with more playing time, has become more and more effective on the offensive end of the floor.
These teams have met 5 times since Shaquille has come into the league, and Orlando has won 3 of those 5 meetings, but never have they won a game pre or after Shaquille O'Neal here in Houston.
They've had a lot of close ball games in this building. Lost a couple of 1-point ball games. But with Olajuwon, he is so effective down low, and the outside shooting once again will be a key here tonight.
Trying to take advantage of the Grant-Chucky Brown matchup early in this first quarter. They're going to Horace a lot. The fall-away jumper.
Oh, my.
Again, he is hit for 5 points in this first quarter, and the Magic are up by 3.
That is not a shot you'll see Horace Grant take a lot. But the Magic have gone to him more often tonight than usual because of the matchup.
Drexler down low to Hakeem Olajuwon, trying to shake free. There's Horace Grant coming in from behind to block the shot. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Ellie's going to have to launch one from downtown. And the clock violation gives the ball back to the Magic.
You know a whole lot about the Magic offense because of guys like Shaq, and then you have Hardaway, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. But a lot of times their defense is overlooked, and they lead the league in point differential, about 9 points per game in the positive side, and a lot of that is because of their effectiveness on defense.
Dennis Scott and Horace Grant have been the two big guns from outside in this first quarter. That one comes up short. Drexler dishing off to Kenny Smith.
Well, that's
First
the one,
two in the game for Kenny Smith.
and that's the one thing they didn't have before Clyde Drexler, a guy at the 2 or 3 position that can take the ball down the floor. Of course, Vernon Maxwell will do that, but Drexler gives him another passer in the lineup.
3 assists in this first quarter already for Clyde Drexler. Nick Anderson going underneath. The ball still belongs to Orlando. 10 left on the shot clock. A little over 4 minutes left in the quarter.
Olajuwon forces you to rethink things when you take the ball to the basket. The Magic have overpassed about 3 times already in this game because of Olajuwon.
Working with little time on the shot clock. There's another turnover.
There's another look at Olajuwon.
And Clyde Drexler had the ball stripped by Penny Hardaway.
And Nick Anderson once again with the hand behind. You remember that Chicago game. Everyone remembers Nick Anderson making the shot. They do not remember that, Penny Hardaway making the shot. They do not remember that Nick knocked the ball away.
Rebound comes out to Shaquille O'Neal into the paint. And we're going to get a travel call against Shaq. He has been involved in almost every Magic turnover in this first quarter. Orlando has turned the ball over 6 times already, and I think 5 of those 6, Goose, have involved Shaquille.
Well, they have been, and once again, Shaq will get charged with some of those because of the overpassing, and he gets the ball in a bad position. You saw Nick Anderson knock the ball away that time.
Olajuwon bringing Shaquille outside, trying to get by him, and now we're going to get a whistle, and the first foul of the game called against Orlando. Shaquille going for it. And here comes Vernon Maxwell and Sam Cassell checking into the game now for Houston. Second game back for Vernon Maxwell after that suspension.
Well, he played 26 minutes in the game at Dallas a couple nights ago. And as you can imagine, not on top of his game at all. Didn't shoot the ball well, had just 6 points in those 26 minutes.
Cassell dishing off to Akeem, who misfires, and Shaquille comes away with a rebound. Only 2 of 8 is Akeem Olajuwon now from the field in this opening quarter. Magic up by 1. Penny Hardaway makes it 3.
Oh, my.
Great move by Penny Hardaway.
Well, if you're going to take the ball to the basket against Olajuwon, you better do that, or you're going to get a hit back at you.
There's the double team on Akeem. Somebody's free. Mario Elie into the paint. Back to Akeem. Akeem trying to shake free of all those blue jerseys. Does, and finally hits his 3rd field goal of the game.
Man, that's a tough shot right there by Olajuwon. He hadn't shot the ball well because the Magic had forced him off the block. He created one for himself that time.
The double team on Shaquille. He kicks it outside to Penny Hardaway for 3. Hardaway, a 35% three-point shooter, has 5 points in this opening quarter, and the Magic lead it by 4.
Well, think about the last time these 2 teams got together. Hardaway, 29 points, 9 assists, 7 steals, and 6 rebounds.
And we're going to get a whistle underneath.
Shaquille picks up foul number 2. And he reaches in that time as Olajuwon put the ball on the floor. You might see the Magic switch and put Horace Grant on Olajuwon to try to cut down on Shaquille's foul trouble.
Fans have shot in the dark time. Tonight, each of our teams will try to make as many baskets.
2 minutes to go in the first, with the Magic leading the Rockets 21-17. And Goose, we talked about the Orlando Magic being winless here in the Summit. Quite a difference in their home and road record this season. The best home record in the league. They've only lost once at home. On the road, still good. 3 games over 500, but not nearly as effective in all areas as they are at home.
Yeah, a lot of the problem on the road for the Magic have occurred here in the last 5 or 6 ball games. They have lost 4 of their last 6 away from Orlando. Up until that time, they had a pretty decent road record. They have lost at places like Minnesota. They lost also at Boston, a couple games they thought they should have won.
And as play resumes here, Tree Rollins in his 18th year in the league. He also is an assistant coach with the Magic. Takes over for Shaquille, who picked up his 2nd foul just before the timeout. When Shaquille served that suspension, Tree Rollins, at his age, had to play 39 minutes. He said to me before the game, never again.
And as I watched him in practice the day after those
He was a
30
full-time coach.
He was
I bet
coach.
that.
He's a player coach. But that day in practice, he was totally coach. He didn't want any part of that basketball.
Inside, Akeem Olajuwon hits the basket and got fouled by Tree Rollins.
Orlando foul number 33, Rollins.
So a chance for a three-point play now for Akeem.
Well, you see, this is the first time Olajuwon has been able to catch the ball down on the low post without having to come out anywhere, and that happened as soon as Shaquille went to the bench.
Olajuwon now at 9 points. He's 4 of 10 from the field. That was his first free throw attempt, and the Rockets back to within 1. A minute 50 to go. Hardaway back outside. Horace Grant is by the fourth one of those long jumpers he's taken. Didn't hit that one. Stolen by Orlando. Stolen right back by Mario Elie. Vernon Maxwell just inside the three-point stripe. Rebound goes out of bounds. Who touched it last? And it'll go back to Orlando.
Well, you can imagine or expect Maxwell to shoot the ball better tonight than he did in Dallas the last game, his first game back from that suspension. He had just 6 field goals, made 2 of them in that game at Dallas.
Houston foul number 10,
Sam Cassell is called for the personal foul away from the ball. That's his first.
Vernon Maxwell, in talking to Rudy Tomjanovich, the Houston coach, he said Vernon had been doing so well until that incident in Portland. He said they'd gotten him under control. They were working on his reputation, trying to get his reputation straightened out, and it was just so unfortunate that that situation came about. Vernon obviously is very sad and very upset about that, and hopefully he will learn from that.
Penny Hardaway hitting his first 2 free throw attempts, giving him a 7-point quarter. It's a 3-point lead for the Magic. A minute 15 left in this opening quarter. Sam Cassell, who leads this team in assists per game, even though he does not start. Into Akeem. Akeem is having a tough time of it here in the first quarter. He's only 4 of 11.
His last 2 shots have been his best shots of the game.
Hardaway at a tree, back to Horace Grant, back to Penny Hardaway, open along the baseline. Nice move, nice soft move by Hardaway.
I think the time before when he got the ball at the basket and he dunked it, forced Olajuwon to wait there for him that time and made it a little bit easier for him to get that little jump shot.
Orlando's lead up to 5 now with 45 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Cassell drawing a crowd. There's Akeem. There's Horace Grant. Off to Cassell, trying to shake free. Back to Akeem, and the second 24-second violation of the quarter by Houston's. Orlando's defense causing the Rockets some first quarter problems.
Well, I think what you're seeing is the Rockets having a hard time on the glass, so they haven't been able to get out in the break. And with the smaller lineup, once they get into the half-court game with the likes of Penny Hardaway and Nick Anderson at the guard positions, it's difficult for the shorter guards to get the shots off.
Take away the Orlando turnovers in this first quarter, it'd be a very lopsided lead for Orlando. The Magic shooting 59% in the quarter. We've got 11 seconds left now on the shot clock. Nick Anderson kicks it out to Horace Grant, baseline jumper. A little short, rebound Akeem Olajuwon. Houston trying to beat the clock. Cassell and Mario Elie. He'll launch it at the buzzer and come up empty. And the Orlando Magic, after 1, have opened up a 5-point lead over the Houston Rockets, even though Shaquille O'Neal got himself into a little foul trouble early. 25-20, Magic lead the Rockets after 1. Along with Jack Givens, Pete Van Weren welcoming you back to the Summit in Houston after 1. The Magic leading the Rockets 25-20. And what a week of NBA action we've had here.
Question, but I think the league and the Players Association is moving towards that. A lot of the veterans feel they should be the ones that should be reaping the rewards of how popular the game is. They have voiced their opinion, and you might see that. Pretty interesting question.
Anthony Boyes checked into the game for Orlando. Pete Chilcutt has checked in for Houston. Vernon Maxwell, strong move inside. He's on the board, his first 2 of the night.
Of course, with Shaq with 2 personal fouls now, he's going to have to be careful. So if the Rockets are ever going to attack the basket, the time to do it is right now.
That's a 3-point effort by Penny Hardaway. The rebound out of bounds. Off the hands of both Chucky Brown and Pete Chilcutt. Chilcutt was starting for a while for Houston, but now they've got him coming off the bench because he can come in at either the forward spot or the center spot. This time he's spelling Akeem.
Yeah, he has played the center position, and just as I said, the Rockets should attack the basket. I think you'll see the Magic do that right now with Olajuwon out of the game.
They go right back to Shaq along the baseline. Nope. Rebound Cassell. Houston on the run, down by 3. Chilton getting it to Chucky Brown. He comes up short. It's Orlando's ball.
Well, you see the Rockets wanting to run the fast break. The Magic, give them a little credit here. They are getting back on defense. They're taking away those fast break opportunities. This lineup on the floor for the Rockets, you must run if you're going to be effective.
And as Rudy Tomjanovich was telling us today, their running game might look a little rusty at times because these guys haven't been together very long.
Well, they haven't. And then, of course, with Maxwell out there, he is not one that takes the ball all the way to the basket. He will spot up to try to get the three-point shot.
Magic by 6 now, 28-22. Chilcutt's going to take it over Horace Grant off the glass. Pete Chilcutt. Making it 28-24. Hardaway and Shaquille trying to take advantage of that matchup, but Shaquille has come up short a couple times now. He gets the ball back, kicks it outside to Dennis Scott. He's got that stroke working from outside, but not that time. And we're going to get a jump ball, says Jake O'Donnell.
Well, the smaller unit for the Rockets right now, making it tough for Shaquille. He's catching the ball a little bit out of the paint, and what he is wanting to do is put the ball down on the floor. And you'll see it right here. He has to protect the basketball. He also has to remember where he is on the floor, and they're tying him up, making it difficult.
Tip is controlled by the Magic. Penny Hardaway. Hakeem Olajuwon will check in next dead ball. Hardaway along the baseline. Boy, he almost got trapped underneath, but still found a way to score.
Yeah, he's great at taking the ball to the basket. Once he gets to the paint, everyone on the floor for the Rockets know how creative he is. So you have to back off. He's a great passer also.
Hardaway in double figures now with 11. Sam Cassell, another easy shot opportunity missed by Houston. Penny Hardaway going wall to wall, comes up empty as well. Rebound Cassell. Off to Vernon Maxwell. He'll fire from anywhere. Nails that 3. He's got 5 points off the Houston bench, and it's a 3-point Orlando lead.
Yeah, that's the way the Rockets have to play.
Another good defensive play by Pete Chilcutt, slapping away the alley-oop. Back to Maxwell. Around and out. Rebound Anthony Bowie.
Yeah, Maxwell's going to work. He's going to make some, but his conditioning can't be there. His game condition can't be there yet.
Pete Chilcutt causing Shaquille O'Neal some problems in the second quarter. Another travel violation. Gives the ball back to the Rockets. You saw that one earlier. What a comeback by the New York Knicks. Atlanta, Milwaukee down to the wire. And Dallas on top of Cleveland by 2. Charlotte, Portland just underway.
Been a tough road trip for Cleveland. Lost 3 in a row.
8th Orlando turnover, giving Houston an opportunity here, and drilling it is Clyde Drexler. He also drew the foul. And a chance to tie it up here.
Well, Anthony Bowie picks up the foul. The reason he's on the floor is because he's usually effective on the defensive end of the floor. Now, one thing you never want to do is to foul a guy in the act of shooting. Clyde, one of the better people in the league at finishing up after the contact.
Jeff Turner has checked in, giving Horace Grant his first breather of the night. And Clyde the Glide. Still looks strange seeing him in a different uniform, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but he has been effective for the Rockets. His last 5 ball games, he's been up around 24 points per game, and that's because he's now understanding Rudy's system. He's fitting in quite well.
Rockets have reeled off 6 straight to tie it. Hardaway operating along the baseline. Nothing for him there. Kicks it outside to Anthony Bowie, a guy who Brian Hill told us he tries to get as many minutes a night as he can. Sometimes can't get him as many as he'd like.
Well, it's difficult, especially when the Magic are playing against a bigger team.
Hakeem inside, and he's having a tough night of it. He's only 4 of 12 from the field. And you're talking about a 51% field goal percentage on the year. Hakeem to Vernon Maxwell. Oh, he didn't even have control of that ball and still got it to fall, giving him 7 and tying it up at 32.
Well, this faster pace falling right into what the Rockets want here tonight.
That's been the case with this Houston ball club for a long time. The difference in the team now is they play so much better defense than they ever did.
That started with Rudy Tomjanovich.
Yes, it did.
Somehow convinced him that defense was the way to win ball games.
He should have gotten Salesman of the Year award
right.
in the NBA for selling the Rockets on the defense that they played last year. They're holding teams under 100 points a game this year. Drexler from three-point land. Short. Rebound tip to Penny Hardaway. Hardaway off to Dennis Scott. He's hit 3 3-pointers tonight. There's Jeff Turner wide open.
Jeff Turner's not going to beat many people down the floor in the foot race, but somehow he snuck behind the Rocket defense for the quick two.
Magic up by 5. 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Cassell taking the 3. Around and out. Shaquille O'Neal the rebound. He's got 8 boards already tonight.
Well, the Rockets weren't a good rebounding team, even with Otis Thorpe. As you can imagine, they've gotten worse since he has been gone.
Ball away Jay by Scott is short. Chilton having himself a good second quarter. Gets the rebound to Drexler to Cassell. Kicking it over to Vernon Maxwell. His 3 comes up short. The tip is good. Clyde Drexler has hit for 5 in the quarter, 7 on the night. And the Rockets are back within 3.
It's amazing at the guard position. He's averaging 7.5 rebounds a game.
Hardaway down low. He got himself completely free of Vernon Maxwell.
Tough matchup.
13 points for Hardaway.
Tough matchup at 6'8".
Tough matchup for anybody. There's
Yeah.
not many guards in the league that can take a guy that size. As Magic Johnson said in an interview recently, when I watch Penny Hardaway play, it's like looking in a mirror.
Well, you'll see him on this play. He's 6'8", the tallest guard on the floor for the Rockets. Vernon Maxwell 6'3", so that's not a matchup Houston would like to see very often. Is injured. The Rockets have to be small. As you watch this fast break here, we'll stop it right there. Now let's watch the spacing. Drexler, Cassell, and then Maxwell. He will spot up here. He'll get the 3-point shot, but then you'll watch Drexler finish up the play by getting to the painted area. Watch here as this smaller lineup is effective on the boards. Real key in this ball game, the rebounding.
Magic leading it by 5. 6:26 left in this first half. That's the advantage that the Houston Rockets would like to keep all night. Over the Orlando Magic. Fast break. They've got one of the better ones in the league when it's operating.
But that's
at top
especially true with Drexler in the lineup.
Hakeem trying to get himself going. First points of the second quarter for Olajuwon. He's 5 of 13 from the field now. Has 11 points on the night.
They'll continue to give him every opportunity to score. He's had 15 shots. Shaquille has had just 6.
Brian Shaw in there now for Hardaway. Bowie, that's a 2-pointer if it goes. It does.
Now, we talked about his defense, but he's able to shoot the ball as well. He's getting about 10 points a game over the last 5 or 6 ball games.
41-36, Magic up by 5. 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Drexler operating against Bowie. Hakeem over Shaquille, and Olajuwon beginning to heat up. He's in his last 2. He has 13 in the night.
Well,
Magic by 3.
That's the problem right there with trying to guard Olajuwon. You just don't know where the offense is coming from. He's so creative and so talented.
Shaquille, fall away, Jay. He can't get that one to fall. Drexler the rebound. He's got 4 rebounds in this first half. Cassell walks it down for Houston. Hakeem trying to shake free of Shaquille. And a foul is going to be called in the backcourt by Sam Cassell. That's his second. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Jack Gibbons and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game.
Rudy Tomjanovich thought Shaquille got Olajuwon on the arm as he let that last shot go. We'll see what the call is the next time they get down on the other end.
Down to 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Outside, Bowie's going to take it, but Drexler flying at him. Rebound, Vernon Maxwell. And the Rockets down by 5. Now try to climb a little closer. Maxwell trying to split the defense. And he got fouled, as he did, by Brian Shaw. His first.
You have to be so concerned with Maxwell from behind the 3-point line. And Brian Shaw that time had to come out and play, and Maxwell read the defense, put the ball on the floor, and he'll get a couple free throws. Kind of surprised Maxwell has gone this many minutes in a row. Mario Elie at the scores table will check in for him at the next break. But Vernon has been effective, and he's one of those kind of guys that doesn't get bad out of shape because of his body and because of the fact he works hard. But he'll get a breather the next dead ball.
He's had a 9-point quarter, and the Rockets have climbed back to within one. Jeff Turner, nobody on him. He's normally a very good outside shooter. How about that tip?
Well, that might have been Olajuwon that knocked the ball in, but he's complaining once again about Shaquille over the back.
43-40, Magic up by 3.
A lot of times you'll see Shaquille pick up 2 early fouls, and then he'll play the rest of the way and not get the foul call.
Second three-pointer of the quarter hit by Vernon Maxwell. He has a 12-point quarter going. We are tied. Alley-oop to Shaquille, misfires. Chilcutt coming up with a loose ball. On the other end, Maxwell got fouled. And Vernon Maxwell has been the key to this Houston comeback in the second quarter.
Well, and Rudy Tomjanovich is going to rethink things right now, and instead of Mario Elie coming in for Vernon, Cassell will get the break.
Maxwell shooting 2.
Well, he is running the floor so well.
Maxwell 4 of 7 from the field. And now 3 of 3 from the line. The NBA on TBS next Thursday at 8 Eastern. We'll have the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Vern Lundquist, Chuck Daly will have that one for you. Wouldn't fall for him. He hollered out short as soon as he left his hand.
That's a sign that he might be a little bit fatigued. Also, he's leaning over, putting his hands on his shorts, trying to catch his breath.
Inside to Shaquille. Over the top of Hakeem Olajuwon, and that's not that easy to do, folks.
No, it's not. And it's not that easy to keep Shaquille out of the paint either.
10 points, 11 rebounds. Already a double-double for the Shaq. Hakeem on the other end. Up, rebound tipped by Turner to Shaquille. Olajuwon just 6 of 16 from the field in his first half. Anderson, been a quiet half for Nick. That's his first basket of the game.
Yes, it has, but so often Nick Anderson is the forgotten guy for the Magic because of Olajuwon and because of Hardaway. Nick Anderson, the third or fourth option a lot of times, and the ball normally does not end up in his hand for many shots.
And still he's having what he says is the best year of his NBA career.
Timeout. Orlando.
And we're going to get one more whistle against Houston.
Foul number 31.
A timeout call with 2:38 to go in the half. The Magic leading it by 3.
Been very effective against Shaquille O'Neal on the low post. You'll see Shaq here. The double team is going to come down with Mad Max right from this angle. And then after Shaquille takes a little fall away jump shot, watch all the white shirts around the basket. Now that's the difference between having Horace Grant on the floor for the Magic and not having him there. No blue shirt around the basket for the opportunity on the double team. It looks to me as though Rudy Tomjanovich has really gotten on his guys about the lack of rebounding in that Dallas game, the last game out, when they were out-rebounded 54-39.
Orlando still has the rebounding edge in this game, 21-15. And Clyde Drexler will be at the line as play resumes here. He's been the leading rebounder in this first half for Houston, surprisingly. He has one more rebound, 4, then does Hakeem Olajuwon, who pulled down 3.
A lot of Clyde's rebounds come off the offensive end.
Only the 8th free throw attempt of the half for Houston, but that's twice as many as Orlando's had. Not many whistles in this first half. 47-45. Magic up by 2 with 2.5 minutes to go. Now the whistles are coming with a little more frequency. Mario Elie gone for that one. That's his first.
And the guys are still not as comfortable with the hand-checking calls as you would think they would be by this time of the year. Now watch a little pressure. Now they're both hands on, and that's an immediate call. Mario Elie objected, as did Rudy Tomjanovich.
Brian Shaw trying to shake free of Elie. Sends it over to Penny Hardaway. Shaquille over Hakeem. Olajuwon on the rebound. His fourth board off to Vernon Maxwell, who's still in there. That last dead ball, he was so hot, Rudy T couldn't take him out.
Well, that gave him a time to get a breather, a couple minutes there, so he should feel better.
And an illegal defense warning against Orlando, one on each side now. Coming up at halftime, our Reebok halftime report. Fred Hickman and Dick Versace in our Atlanta studios. Tonight's scores and highlights from the other games. A recap of that big comeback by the New York Knicks on our Reebok halftime report. Olajuwon, eye to eye with Shaquille. The top two scorers in the NBA, arguably the top two big men in the league. What a week it's been for Shaquille. Patrick Ewing one night, Hakeem Olajuwon tonight, and then he goes to San Antonio, takes on David Robinson. That's a week's worth of work.
He's got all three of them back to back. This should be a big week for Shaquille.
Horace Grant thought he got fouled. No whistle though. Rebound Chucky Brown. Baseball pass down to Ellie. Maxwell touch pass to Drexler. Nice execution by Houston. They love to do that. Another fast break basket for the Rockets, who have tied it up here and have a chance now to take the lead.
Well, this game has been all about rebounding. Once you get that shot, and the Rockets have been able to get out on the break, they've been very, very effective. Now watch the ball movement, the unselfish play. Penny Hardaway wanted the offensive foul. You saw Drexler push off, but Drexler's the veteran. He's going to get that call every time.
Vernon Maxwell getting an ovation from this Houston crowd as he takes a breather. Sam Cassell coming in to replace Maxwell. A 13-point quarter for Vernon. Drexler trying to complete the three-point play and give the Rockets the lead. He does. 11 points for Drexler. Rockets up by one. Just over a minute to go. Hardaway left unguarded for a moment. Not a good idea.
He is shooting that shot so well from the outside, from behind the three-point line, and he's well over 53% in the last 10 ball games.
Orlando 5 out of 11 from three-point territory tonight. Houston averages 7 made three-point baskets per game, a little over 7, the best in the NBA. So we could see a lot of trays tonight. There's one try right there by Mario Elie. Couldn't get that one to fall. O'Neal the rebound. Houston just 3 of 10 now from three-point land, and Penny Hardaway.
As I say, it's all about rebounding in this ball game. You can talk about the matchup in the middle. You can talk about the stars, but the team that wins the rebound total will win this ball game.
And Orlando out-rebounding the Rockets now by 6, 23-17. They have a 4-point lead. You see the time left. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Down to 8 left. A three-point effort by Clyde the Glide, who has come to life in this second quarter for the Rockets.
These two teams are so similar in what they do on defense and what they do on offense. The outside shooting off the double team, both teams rely on it very heavily.
Nick Anderson trying to beat Drexler one-on-one. Comes up short. Loose ball, though, controlled by Orlando. Trying to beat the buzzer as Horace Grant in and out. Buzzer sounds, and we've had ourselves a game in this first half. The war between the Rockets and the Orlando Magic goes to halftime with Orlando leading it by a score of 52-51. Anthony Hardaway, the big gun for the Magic, with 18. Vernon Maxwell sparking the Rockets' comeback. Coming up next, our Reebok halftime report.
The story is told from Houston on this doubleheader night, where the Magic are leading the Rockets in a tight one, 52-51. This is the Reebok halftime report, and I'm Fred Hickman back in Atlanta along with my partner, Dick Versace. You know, both Hakeem and Shaq said it before this game. It is going to have to be a team effort for either team to win this thing.
Well, I think the game is living up to billing. If you think about it, it's got a one-point game at halftime. But the thing that I'm noticing is that the Rockets are able to run on the Magic rather easily.
Well, you know, other actions happening in the...
I think the real key in this game is going to come down to rebounding, particularly for Houston, since they are a small team. They have to get the basketball off the backboards to get out on the break to get some easy opportunities, and when they're doing that, they're very good.
As you look at some of the numbers in this first half, you'll see exactly what we mean. The Magic shooting 51% to the Rockets 44. There's that rebounding difference by Orlando, 24-17, a 7-rebound edge over the Rockets. Now, as we mentioned, you get a meeting between a Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon. Very often, that's not going to be the difference in the game. Their first time they met, even though Orlando won the game by 23 points, it was basically contributions from Penny Hardaway with 29, and Nick Anderson had a big night that night with 25. O'Neal and Olajuwon pretty much offset each other, as they've done tonight, except in rebounding. The points are about equal, but the rebounding edge is really the difference in the game right now.
I think another thing that is important, as you see Olajuwon with 16 field goal attempts in that first half of play. He only made 6 of them, but it keeps the pressure on Shaquille as far as fouls is concerned. So the Magic must continue to get some good aggressive double teams, and Horace Grant has been the guy that has been most effective in doubling up on Olajuwon. Make sure that Shaq gets more minutes on the floor.
Very few whistles in the first half tonight. We only had 8 personal fouls called against Orlando, only 7 called against Houston, so no foul trouble to report as the third quarter gets underway.
Shaquille picked up 2 fouls early in the ballgame,
but played a lot of minutes in that second quarter without picking up a third.
He played 22 minutes in the first half, set out for a couple of minutes to make sure he didn't pick up his third personal foul, but on a lot of occasions you'll see the big fella pick up 2 quick ones, and then he starts to concentrate. He becomes more focused and becomes more sound on defense.
The starting 5 on the court for both teams. Kenny Smith, who only saw 9 minutes of action and didn't have much to show for it in the first half. No points, no assists. He's back in there at the point guard. Mario Elie, Hakeem Olajuwon, Chucky Brown, and Clyde Drexler make up the rest of the Rockets' 5. Hardaway, Anderson, O'Neal, Scott, and Grant for Orlando. From outside, Hakeem, 6 for 17 now from the field.
Now that's not the shot, I don't think, that the Rockets want every time down.
And the Magic also misfire their first effort from Dennis Scott in the second half. Mario Elie. First points of the third quarter scored by Houston, giving them back the lead.
No secret to difference in the Houston offense when they can get off a shot with at least 10 seconds left, as opposed to shooting it with the clock running out.
Good save there by Horace Grant on a pass that almost went behind him. And the Magic back on top by 1. Drexler isolated on Anderson. Good defense by Grant, but the rebound and the putback by Chucky Brown. What a find he has been for Houston. He was playing with Yakima in the CBA when some of these injuries began to hit.
It's all about timing. Houston went out and got him, hoping that he could come in and just be a player off the bench, but here he is in the starting lineup because of the injuries.
10-day contract turned into much more for Chucky Brown, didn't it?
He signed for the rest of the year and has taken clear advantage of him. Kenny Smith.
First basket of this second half by Kenny Smith. It is 57-54. The Rockets up by 3, and Orlando calls a timeout.
Well, Brian Hill feels that his team needs a 22nd timeout here to get themselves back under control. Let's make that a full timeout now, as he needs a little more time to discuss strategy.
The game with a different kind of net looks on. We want to remind you the NBA on TBS next Thursday at 8 Eastern will have the San Antonio Spurs. These coaches are under. I think these 2 coaches are probably working with more pressure this year because of the expectations that their fans have. Houston won a title, the fans won another one, and Orlando feels they can do it this year.
Well, Brian Hill kind of fell into a pretty good situation.
Yes, he did.
When
he'd be the first to tell you that. I asked him today about the expectation. He said, "Hey, it's all I know here." That's all I walked into this situation.
What a great opportunity for him. Olajuwon with the follow away. Well, that is a tough.
How do you stop that shot?
Well, I just think you have to hope it's going to go, not going to go down.
Shaquille trying to out-muscle him on the other end, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul call against Houston.
Well, he's so good at reading the defense now. He sees the double team coming, and the hesitation and the follow-through on that shot. That is a tough shot any way you look at it, and there's no stopping it. You just have to hope that he misses it.
Almost as unstoppable as the old sky hook from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Not able to get to that one either.
I mean, you would think giving up that shot would be the shot that you want a guy taking. It has to be considered a low percentage shot, but Olajuwon makes a bunch of them.
Shaquille O'Neal, only a 55% free throw shooter, misfires on his first 2 attempts tonight. 59-56. Rockets up by 3. 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
I think for the Magic, Nick Anderson has been very quiet in this game, and a lot of times when he doesn't get involved in the offense, you kind of lose it. So the Magic will need to get him a shot, and it goes from 3.
Took a while, but it finally fell for Kenny Smith. His first 3 of the night. The Rockets their biggest lead of the night. Penny Hardaway double team. They've got Anderson open if they can get it to him. They do now. But he comes up. No, he does not come up short. He got a good bounce. Only his 4th point. He's only 2 of 4. Hasn't taken that many shots.
Yeah, he has 4 shots in this ball game. He's still working hard in some other areas, but you need a shot for him every now and then because you might lose him if you don't get something for him offensively.
Horace Grant didn't think Kenny Smith would try to take advantage of that matchup, and Smith misfired. The loose ball picked away. Penny Hardaway has got Scott on one wing, Anderson on the other. 3-point effort by Scott around and out. Offensive board by Horace Grant, one of the best offensive rebounders in the game. Another 3. Again, misfired. Another offensive board.
Well, that's the same thing that happened down the stretch in Dallas and allowed Dallas to get the tip in to beat them on the last second shot.
Shaquille, spin move. 0 for 3 that trip for the Magic.
Well, that's a great job defensively by Olajuwon, would not allow Shaquille to get to the paint.
Olajuwon over Shaquille, short. Rebound comes out to Hardaway. O'Neal on one wing, Scott on the other. Mismatch with O'Neal. Now Olajuwon comes over, but it's too late. Shaq beats him. 4 points in the quarter, 14 in the night. And it's a 2-point Houston lead.
You know, Shaquille will tell you that Olajuwon is the toughest guy in the league for him to play against because of Olajuwon's quickness around the basket on defense and the fact that he challenges every shot.
I don't know, so I've never heard 2 players compliment each other as much as Hakeem and Shaquille do. 2 more for Chucky Brown. He's got 6. Rockets up by 4 again.
I think what Chucky Brown has given this team, the fact that he stays within himself on offense, he's not going to try a lot of things that he can't do. That's just what the Rockets needed.
Dennis Scott gets into the paint. And the whistle. Number 2 on Brown.
Watch Chucky Brown move without the basketball. Horace Grant has been the guy coming over, and if you don't get the rotation on the defense, he's going to be able to lay a lot of them in. So look for Houston to go to that situation even more down the stretch here.
Houston's been very good this year with all their injuries about going out and finding some guys with some experience in this league to come in. Chucky Brown being one example. Another one just signed today to a 10-day contract coming out of retirement. Charles Jones, the 11-year veteran who played for so many years with the Bullets, last year with the Detroit Pistons. With Ori and Herrera both hurt. There's a guy that can come in. He hasn't played yet tonight, maybe won't, but there's a guy that can come in and spell Hakeem for 4 or 6 minutes a night and give you the defense and the rebounding.
Yeah, you talk about a guy that will come in and give you defense every night. Charles Jones is the guy to do that. There he is. He came out of retirement, was hanging out in the Washington, D.C. area, working out every day, and he gets the call from the Rockets.
67-62, Rockets up. There's a 3-pointer by Nick Anderson, and he drills it. His first 3 of the night.
These 2 teams, Pete, are so much alike. They command the double team, and they shoot the ball so well from behind the 3-point line, out of the double team.
67-65.
Now here's another look at it. Watch the double team come, and look at the shot opportunities behind the 3-point line.
And a rebound for Shaquille O'Neal. 16 rebounds tonight for O'Neal. He's more than halfway to his career high of 28. That's the mismatch. That's the mismatch the Magic were taking advantage of in the first quarter. They got Kenny Smith right out of the ballgame.
Well, that's a beautiful move by Hardaway. He reads the defense so well. And once again, he's such a good passer. You have to respect that, so teams are slow to come with the double team.
Tied at 67. The double team on Drexler. Will swing it around to Mario Ellie. Olajuwon over Grant.
Once again, you have to feel good about giving him that shot. But he makes it look easy.
8 of 20 from the field now for Olajuwon. He has 17 points at 69-67 Rockets. Ball away, Jay, by Hardaway goes.
Now look for the double teams to start coming more aggressively. The Magic will try to point out to the officials a possible illegal defense. but they have to get the ball out of Hardaway's hands on the low post.
Right back down to Akeem. There's the double team. There's the open man. And Kenny Smith walked. Houston turns the ball back over to Orlando. A look at tonight's GMC scoreboard. New York, a big come from behind game. Mason, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists in that one. Dallas got 18 points, 8 assists out of Jason Kidd.
Nick Anderson.
72-69 Magic. Mario Elie had the ball tipped away from behind by Shaquille O'Neal. Now he tries to catch up with him. Oh, my. How'd you like to be on the bottom of that collision?
I would not. I would not. A break there for both teams. I thought Shaquille probably could have come up with a foul either off the reach in right here over top or the foul as they went for the loose ball, and then the ball will go off of Kenny Smith's foot. It's hard to see it from that angle. But both teams with a break. Houston gets the ball.
1.5 minutes to go in the third. Magic up 72-69. Kenny Smith's all right. He walks the ball down the court to Drexler. The old five slamma-jamma combination. Not this time. Rebound, Shaquille O'Neal. 17 boards. Good defense, Mario Elie. Orlando gets it back, though. The three won't go for Scott. Another offensive goal by Horace Grant.
Dennis Scott getting a lot of real good looks from behind that three-point line.
Nick Anderson misfires from out there. And the Rockets down by 3. Horace Grant got a hand up there. Loose ball turned over to the Orlando Magic. Anthony Hardaway operating in the paint. Couldn't get the shot to fall. Boy, he's got more inside moves than...
Oh, man. So good off the dribble. I mean, he doesn't have Michael Jordan's hang time. He might not be the passer that Magic was, but he has enough of all of those qualities to make him one of the best in the business.
And what Hardaway does is give you just about whatever you need on any given night. If you need him to score, as the Magic did in the night that the game that Shaquille O'Neal was out, and when Horace Grant was injured, Hardaway takes over the scoring for you.
Right.
If you've got other guys hot, he'll distribute the ball, give the ball away, and get the assists.
Yeah, one of his greatest qualities, I think, is his unselfishness. The fact that he doesn't mind giving the basketball up to the guy with the hot hand, and that's what you need out of your point guard. Now, this unit on the floor for the Rockets, you don't have a true point guard out there, so let's see if the offense becomes a little stagnant.
They're playing with Maxwell, Drexler, and Mario Elie, along with Chucky Brown and Hakeem Olajuwon. Another Houston turnover. They've been guilty of that the last 3 trips down the court. And it's Scott carrying the ball right back over. Ball still rolling loose. And Clyde Drexler comes up with it.
Nick Anderson is hurting. He's had a fractured bone in that hand. He's had a fractured bone in his wrist, and he's going to the bench. He fell down hard on that left hand. And he has done that about 3 times this year, and it has meant 2 or 3 games that he has had to miss. We'll see if it's as bad as it has been the previous 2 or 3 times it's happened.
That's Lenny Currier, the Orlando Magic trainer, taking a look at Nick Anderson. Brian Shaw's checked in to replace him.
In X-ray in Nick's hand, the doctors couldn't tell if that was a current injury or a new injury, or if it was one that happened a long time ago. Either way, it's very painful and keeps him out of action from time to time.
Horace
Grant called for his first personal. This will send Hakeem Olajuwon to the free throw line. Hakeem Olajuwon, second in the league in scoring, 5th in rebounding, in the top 20 in field goal percentage. Number 2 in block shots, number 9 in steals. You get the whole package here.
Yeah, he and Shaquille O'Neal in the top 10 in 4 different categories. Can't say that about many players in this league.
Well, O'Neal leads the league in scoring, 8th in rebounding, 3rd in field goal percentage, and 7th in block shots.
And that is why both of these guys will get a lot of votes for MVP.
What are they going to call this one?
Well, they might call
A
offensive
three-point
goaltending.
basket, offensive goaltending, or an alley-oop. They've got 3 options here.
Well, they might call offensive goaltending. It looks like they're going to take the basket away.
No basket, offensive interference. So the Houston Rockets will get the ball back here. You know, I think that ball would have gone. I think it would have gone without a touch by Penny Hardaway.
All right, Rockets fans, we are
But offensive interference is the call, and the Rockets call a timeout.
with Turbo. Everybody, stand up.
Now let's take a look at this play where Nick Anderson is injured. Just to let you know, there's Nick. He makes the move down into the painted area. And watch as he goes down for the loose ball here. You'll see his arm kind of bend as he goes down right there, and then he comes down on it a second time. And as I told you, this is an old injury, one that has flared up a couple times already this season. He'll keep the ice on it, and maybe he will be able to get back in this ballgame.
Greg Sager went over and checked with the Orlando bench, and they say they don't believe it's anything serious, and he should be able to get back in the game tonight. Clyde Drexler hits the basket, his first point of the second half. He has 16 points. It's a 1-point Magic lead again. 2:42 remaining third quarter. Brian Shaw in there for Nick Anderson.
Now, the thing that the Magic will have to get from Brian Shaw is a few points. He simply has not shot the ball well.
Rebound Olajuwon.
But he handles the ball an awfully lot. So he has to look at the basket, he has to shoot it, and the other thing is Nick Anderson had been shooting it so well.
Turnaround J by Drexler over Shaw. Chilcutt comes away with a rebound. He was a valuable man off the bench for Houston in the first half.
He's been good. He's at the power forward spot now. Came in for Olajuwon early.
Olajuwon trying to hit Drexler underneath. Misfires. Ball rolls loose. Shaquille comes away with it. Gives it off to Penny Hardaway. Under 2 minutes to go now in the third. Magic leading at 74-73. Magic trying to win in the Summit for the first time in their history. Dennis Scott again Chilcutt, but Scott gets it back. No.
Foul charge to number 17.
Mario Elie gets him across the arm. Dennis Scott is not one of those players that has the great explosiveness. You'll see him right here. Chilcutt's going to come in and tie him up, but the quick hands by Dennis Scott gets it back in a second chance opportunity there after the block.
Dennis Scott 13 points, 6 assists on the night. Speaking of assists, Shaquille has 6 of them. That ties his career high. And here comes Sam Cassell back into the game for Houston, replacing Mario Elie. So it's Cassell and Maxwell now in your backcourt for the Rockets. They're going to be trying all different kinds of combinations.
Well, that's the backcourt that worked very well for them in the second period. Mad Max was able to continue to get shots at the basket because